Okay, we are moving into 2.1b, transforming data. So let's talk about what changes and what remains the same. So when adding or subtracting a constant, the centers, mean, and median, locations, percentiles, quartiles, remains the same. The shape, spread, IQR, standard deviation. Okay, so when adding a constant. Okay, so the changes are the mean, median, the centers, locations, and then remains the same. Okay, let's talk about whenever multiplying or dividing each observation by a constant. The changes are the centers, which are mean and median. Locations are percentiles, quartiles, and the shape remains the same. Okay, so we're going to understand what this means, but just writing it down is going to help. Okay, so also changes would be spread whenever you multiply or divide by a constant. It's going to change your spread, which is IQR, standard deviation, and range. Okay, so here's our example. In 2010, taxi cabs in New York City charged a fee of $2.50 plus $2 per mile. Here's the equation form. Fare equals $2.50 plus 2 times the miles. At the end of the month, a business collects all of his taxi cab receipts and analyzes the distribution of fares. The distribution was skewed to the right with a mean of 15.45 and standard deviation of 10.20. Are the mean and standard deviation of the lengths of this cab in miles? Well, it says fare is $2.50 plus 2 times the miles. So let's go ahead and solve it for miles. So you subtract the $2.50, then you divide by 2. So let's see what that means. So let's change the mean into miles, because right now the mean is in dollars. So 1545 minus 250 over 2 is 6.475 miles. So the mean of this taxi cab of those receipts that he collected is 6.47 miles. That is our mean. So we had to subtract and divide. Standard deviation is 1020 divided by 2. So that's 510 miles. So that's our standard deviation. So what would the shape, center, and spread be of this distribution? So it originally is, what does it say, skewed right. So the shape is going to stay the same as the original. So the z-score distribution would be the same as the original. So it's skewed right. The center is subtracting each value by 15.45 reduces the mean to 0. Dividing by 2 will also divide the new mean by 1020. By dividing 0 by anything, this still be 0. So the center will be changed. The spread, subtracting does not affect the spread. Okay. So that's what we wrote in that table above. However, dividing each value by 10.20 would make the standard deviation equal to 1. So the shape stays the same, the center changes to 0, and spread equals 1, or standard deviation equals 1. So that's the spread that we'll be using. Okay, so when we standardize distribution and do z-scores, this is the important part of these notes. The mean will be 0. Standard deviation is 1 always. So that is the most important part of this. When we go to z-scores, when we standardize a distribution, the mean is going to no longer be, what was the mean of that one? 15.45, it's going to change to 0. Standard deviation is going to change to 1 once you make your z-scores. So that is the most important thing of this whole lesson. Okay, I will see you all in class.